we're going to come for havoc number 2. Let me pull up a seat. You guys want me sitting gangster? Yeah, this thing has a delay. Okay. Sorry. Sometimes hip placement makes sitting a little bit more uncomfortable than it normally would be. So since this is my final Scarlett Spider video for tonight, I figured I'd drop in some spider facts for fun. So, let's talk about Scarlet Spider's #1 enemy, Kane. Not Kane Marco, you guys know him as the Juggernaut, bitches. But anyway, so we have Kane. In the cusp of 1975, before most of you were born, and I was looking at about 2 or 3 years of age, because I'm old, there was this thing in Marvel where clones became the be-all of all best ideas they could come up with at the time. Okay, so this is a big-ass clone war. The first one, the very first one, 1975. Go Google it. So, Spider-Man found himself going against one of his most deadliest enemies known as the Jackal. The Jackal had somehow found out that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. So somehow or another he acquired, or stolen, Spider-Man's DNA. Give her to Retcons. Okay. So during this era, 3 clones came into existence. So you guys don't know about the 3rd clone. So the 3rd clone was never really discovered, and a mystery, and by now he's probably been retconned out, and I don't even remember his name. 1975 was a long, long time ago. Again, at this time I think I was still reading Jonah Hex from DC, which was teaching me how to read. And then I fell in love with a favorite web slinger that led me to the X-Men. Off topic. Anyway, so during this clone war, 2 known clones survived. So, one clone was Kane. The other clone was yours truly, Ben Reilly. And then the mystery clone, which may have been retconned, give or take 2 retcons. He, or whatever, was never seen from or heard from again. Not even in Maximum Cloneage. We're going to get to that in a minute. Right now, we're talking about Kane, who didn't really take part in Maximum Cloneage that I can remember. I had to find the books to confirm that, but as far as I'm going for this video, we're going to say that Kane didn't really play a big part in Maximum Cloneage, because it's like 6 or 9 episodes in it. I know I have at least 6 or 9 of those comics. So, during this time, yours truly, Ben Reilly, woke up somewhere else, because there was like 1,000 or better Spider-Men fighting each other, because none of them knew who was Spider-Man. See, what Jackal didn't do was, he couldn't program all of them to fight Spider-Man. But since all of them, in a sense, was Spider-Man, each of them believed the others were clones, until the Battle Royale ended with all of the clones pretty much deceased. Except for Kane and yours truly. Yours truly here went on an odyssey. Marvel 5-year odyssey was really a Marvel 10-year odyssey, give or take a few retcons. And in yours truly's journey, I was being hunted by Kane, who wanted to kill me because he wanted to prove that he was the real Spider-Man. Where I was thinking I was the real Spider-Man. While Peter Parker, who was the real Spider-Man, who thought he was a clone, so that could be that mysterious 3rd clone that no one's ever seen or heard from, because wouldn't it be a bitch if all of us was actually clones and the real Peter Parker died somewhere in the midst of that clusterfuck in 1975? Yeah, the writers would never have done that. And Marvel fans probably wouldn't have stood for it. The writers probably wouldn't have stood for it. Stan Lee would be rolling in his grave if that was true. But anyway, so Kane and yours truly went on a 10-year cat and mouse game all the way out west, all the way to like Texas and California and Arizona, and making his way back, doing odd jobs until he found himself back in Hell's Kitchen. By then, Maximum Cloneage was about to happen. Scratch that. rewind a little bit. When he got back, maximum clonage was about to happen before he got the job at Hell's Kitchen. So he permanently was going around as the Scarlett Spider and doing mercenary hero work kind of thing. Again, give or take a few retcons. But the best way to do it is to go back and try to find all the books starring Ben Reilly as the Scarlet Spider, and then go read the first Clone Wars, the second Clone Wars, and then Maximum Clonage. Don't ask, I didn't write the titles, I just read the books. Anyway, again, give a few retcons. So, here's your way of defining them. So, except for Kane's half burnt ass face, that's the only thing that distinguishes him from Ben Reilly and Peter Parker, outside of the fact that Spider-Man and Ben Reilly are easy between 5'9" and 5'10", where Kane is like 6'1" or 6'2", which eliminates him from being the actual Spider-Man. But that malfunction in his glitch up here doesn't let him know that. So after Maximum Clonage, and things start to boil down, where Reed Richards' test proves that yours truly is the genuine article. Of course, this would wind up being a lie, because Peter Parker is an anomaly. And why is he an anomaly? Because a clone only can be copied and be a duplicate of what the guy actually can. So here's where things come in. Kane has never turned into the Man-Spider. Ben Reilly has never turned into the Man-Spider. And if he has, there has been no recollection and no throwbacks in Marvel about that. Give a retcon or two. Okay, why do I keep saying that? Because when Marvel did this big retcon stuff, I was kind of like, no. So before the retcon, yours truly here became the Spider-Man. That's right, I had the red and blue suit that Mayday Parker would ratify into her suit in honor of me and her father. So she was going around as Spider-Girl. Give a retcon or two. Okay, so back to Kane. Kane has long brown hair. Yours truly here has short bleached blonde hair. It was brown, but I dyed it bleached blonde, so when I started working in Hell's Kitchen as a damn dishwasher, I didn't want people to think that I was Peter Parker and was down on my luck. Well, Peter Parker was graduating from Empire State University, getting his degree in science, and looking forward to getting a teacher job, as well as moonlighting as Spider-Man, as well as freelance photography for the Daily Bugle. Now, back to Kane. Kane happens to be a few grams or strength-wise on the strength scale stronger than both Peter Parker and yours truly, Ben Reilly. Now, without the black suit, the biggest car that Spider-Man can pick up is a Volkswagen Bug. So he could throw Bumblebee around. Old school Bumblebee. Now, Ben Reilly, on the other hand, can also only throw old school Bumblebee around. Except for when I became Spider Carnage. Yes, I never got the symbiote, but I was possessed by Carnage for like 2 or 3 comic books. Maybe more. Give a retcon or two. So, that being said, Kane, who's huge and massive, has never been with the symbiote, to my knowledge. Give a retcon or two. He has always been stronger than both. In his strength, he was able to pick up a truck. Like a SUV type truck. Like a Ford Explorer, or possibly a bus. Now, when Spider-Man, Peter Parker, had the Venom Suit, he could pick up a school bus without problems, and with one hand. But that was because that was the symbiote strength. Now, when he got the suit of Dusk, he still had strength, but not like super duper strength. So that being said, he was strong when he was in the Venom symbiote, and kind of strong when he was Dusk. Not so strong as he was when he was the Venom symbiote. That being said, I was pretty strong when I had the Carnage symbiote. I forgot how I got rid of the Carnage symbiote, but Maximum Carnage went to windfall for them, and it was a pretty good book. And right after that, yours truly donned the Scarlet Spider suit no longer. I became straight up Spider-Man, because Peter Parker lost his powers, Aunt May was dying, and Mary Jane was loaded with sugar. In other words, she's about to drop that sack known as Mayday Parker. Okay, now Kane, on the other hand, was hunting me down until that point. Eventually, Kane and I came to a discussion. And Kane realized that he could do better in the world if he stopped wasting his time trying to kill the genuine article here. And he went off to do his thing. So there you have it. Kane went off to do his thing, give a retcon or two, and you never really hear anything else from him. As of current Marvel news, I have nothing on Kane. I also don't know if they brought Ben Reilly back because I stopped reading after they did the retcon and they got rid of Psylocke, they messed up Colossus, and all the other stuff. So while we're on that, here's why I stopped reading the comics, but I still thoroughly enjoy the comics. I read anything back from 2000 all the way to 1975. But anything after 1999 started getting a little funky for me. And then they did that damn retcon in like 2008 or 2010 where they they got rid of all my Guardians of the Galaxy. So no longer was Major Victory the leader. They basically pushed them even further out of the Marvel Universe and just started calling it Guardians 3000, which I didn't know, so now I had to go find all those books. And the Guardians of the Galaxy became the guys you know and love. Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, Mantis, Rocket, Groot, some other people that I can't remember, and I think they may have brought Yondu back, but the other original 13 were long gone. And that includes Howard the Duck, who sometimes moonlighted as a Guardian of the Galaxy. And Nova wasn't in the original Guardians of the Galaxy, but they did deal with some of the Nova Corps. Okay? They also fought a lot of Wolverine's granddaughter, who was trying to fight Tiger for Wolverine's adamantium, because she wanted to fuse it into her so that she could become invincible and immortal. Long story, it didn't happen, the end. Now, as far as Kane went, when yours truly and Spider-Man fought for the final time in the Clone Wars and Maximum Cloneage, we teamed up, we beat all the clones, and then Peter went and murdered like 10,000 people in a city where he twisted some kind of canister and got everything over. So then his ass went to jail. Now, eventually we did get him out. I forgot how, I forgot what the hell they did. Again, give a retcon or two. And then yours truly became the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's right. So there's your fun fact on Scarlett Spider for tonight. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this. And, you know, I will go into one last thing before I end the video about the retconning and what stopped me. So after I read the Onslaught Saga, then they did the M-Day thing, or whatever the hell it was called, where Scarlet Witch miscarried her children and snapped all mutants out of existence, basically, except for like a few. And then to top that off, somewhere in the Marvel archives, apparently somebody forgot to read that Scarlet Witch and Vision already had children, and they were biologically Vision's children. Don't know, don't ask me, but somewhere some of the writers clearly forgot something like back in 1980 freaking 2, I have it in the basement by the way, that Scarlet Witch and Vision had twin boys. So when she miscarried her twins this time around, it was some messed up stuff. And I just wanted to say that I liked Asian Psylocke a lot better than European Psylocke, even though European Psylocke was Asian Psylocke because she was European Psylocke in Asian's body, and it all just went to hell, and then they popped that back into fixing it. And European Psylocke, as good as she was not as good of a fighter until she became a hot, sexy Asian babe. And that ends this video. FYI, there are bugs like crawling all over me right now. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing you. If I can find this thing, yeah, here we go. Thanks for watching. It's got to be midnight by now.